Rain pounded against the reinforced windows of the outpost, each strike rattling the metal walls like gunfire. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the jagged cliffs outside in brief, harsh flashes. Callan Voss sprinted down the hallway, water sloshing inside his boots as alarms blared and the floor trembled. A warning siren cut through the storm, structural breach detected in the storage wing. He didn't hesitate. He had to check it. When he reached the storage bay, a chunk of ceiling had collapsed. Dust filled the air, making it hard to see. Through the haze, a faint movement caught his eye. Something small curled up, shaking. Callan knelt, brushing debris aside, revealing a tiny creature with scales that shimmered like liquid silver. Its eyes, large and golden, stared at him with a clarity that froze his chest. It was a hatchling unlike anything he had seen. Its wings were delicate, translucent, but quivering violently under the rubble. "Hey, it's okay," Callan whispered, his voice steady despite the roar of the storm. He lifted the debris carefully, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down. The hatchling squeaked, a sound that was more like a musical note than a cry, sharp and trembling. It flinched when the wind gusted through the broken roof. Callan held it close, shielding it with his body as another strike of lightning cracked nearby. The hatchling's scales pulsed softly under his hands, almost in rhythm with his heartbeat. Callan's mind raced. He didn't know where it had come from, why it was here, or if it was dangerous, but it was alive, vulnerable, and completely dependent on him. The outpost's automated drones hovered nearby, assessing damage, but none dared enter the collapsing storage wing. Callan's choices were clear: act fast or lose it. He carried the hatchling through the rain-soaked hallways, dodging falling beams and broken panels. Every step was a calculated risk. One slip could crush it, one delayed decision could end its life. When he reached the emergency shelter, he laid the hatchling on a reinforced table. It trembled, eyes blinking rapidly, and then, unexpectedly, it reached one claw toward him, almost pleading. Callan's chest tightened. The connection was immediate, unspoken. Somehow the creature knew he was its protector. He grabbed a portable heat lamp and adjusted it above the hatchling, warming the small body. Its wings twitched less now, its breathing slowing. Callan exhaled, a short, shaky breath, feeling a small victory pulse through him. "You're safe for now," he said softly, even as the storm continued to shake the outpost. It was a fragile piece, but it felt like the first step toward survival. Then came the sound, metallic scraping from the far end of the shelter. Callan stiffened. He wasn't alone. The hatchling stiffened as well, eyes narrowing in alarm. Shadows shifted in the dim light, and a figure emerged. Dr. Kessler, one of the senior scientists. "Callan, you can't keep it here. It's too dangerous. We have protocols, quarantine, isolation." Callan's jaw tightened. "Protocols won't save it from that storm, and you can't move it without hurting it. I'll find a safe way." His voice was calm but firm, carrying a weight of authority he didn't feel. The hatchling's gaze followed him, golden eyes wide as if it understood his words. A sudden tremor shook the floor. Debris rattled the walls. The hatchling shrieked, high-pitched and resonant, sending a jolt through the shelter. Callan's mind worked faster than ever. He grabbed a crate, rolling it to create a barrier between the hatchling and falling panels, then positioned himself in front, shielding it. The creature's shriek stopped him in his tracks for a moment. Its sound carried an energy that made the hairs on his neck rise. He had no idea what it could do if fully frightened. Lightning struck close, and a surge of electrical interference caused the outpost's lights to flicker violently. In that moment, the hatchling moved. It crawled toward him and curled into his chest, wings trembling but slowing, finally resting. Callan's heart thudded. The storm raged outside, alarms screamed, and yet the hatchling had chosen him. Only him. Callan looked down, gently brushing a shimmering scale from its eye. "Looks like it won't sleep without me," he muttered. A strange warmth spread through his chest, a mixture of relief and awe. He realized then that this wasn't just survival, it was a bond forming under impossible odds. Before he could process more, the hatchling's wings quivered suddenly, and a faint glow spread across its body, brighter than before. The shelter's metal walls hummed, responding subtly to the energy. Callan froze, realizing this small creature could do something no one expected, something powerful. The storm outside intensified, the building groaned as if it were alive, and the hatchling's golden eyes locked onto him with sharp intensity. Callan's mind raced. If it reacted to him, what else could it do? And more importantly, who, or what, was really watching them through the storm? The hatchling let out a soft, vibrating hum that seemed to reach through Callan's chest. He had no answers yet, but one thing was clear. The night had just begun and survival would demand everything he had, and more than anyone imagined. And then, a sudden crack echoed through the shelter, louder than the storm itself as the floor beneath them trembled once more, hinting at dangers even the hatchling could not predict. Callan's muscles burned as he lifted the hatchling higher, moving it toward the center of the shelter where the reinforced panels were thickest. Outside, the storm showed no mercy. Torrential rain pounded the outpost's exterior, and gusts of wind rattled the walls, shaking the floor beneath them. Every second brought the threat closer. Yet inside, the hatchling stayed pressed against him, tiny claws gripping his jacket, eyes wide with fear and trust. Dr. Kessler's voice cut sharply through the roar of the storm. "Callan, step back. You're putting yourself, and it, in danger. Protocols exist for a reason." Callan didn't flinch. "The protocols won't save it from that windstorm. I'll get it to safety." His tone carried authority. He refused to surrender control to someone who only saw rules, not life. The hatchling chirped softly as if acknowledging his words. He glanced around. The shelter's emergency systems had activated automatically, but many doors were jammed from debris. Broken cables sparked here and there, adding to the tension. Every step could trigger another collapse, and the hatchling's wings twitched as he carried it across the floor. He had to act decisively, and fast. A sudden tremor shook the shelter. Panels rattled, loose equipment slid across the floor. The hatchling shrieked sharply, vibrating in his arms. Callan's heart raced. Its cries weren't just noise. They carried a frequency that made metal hum, causing sparks to fly from nearby machinery. He had never encountered anything like this. The creature's energy could destabilize equipment, maybe even the building itself. Callan pressed the hatchling to his chest and ducked as a heavy beam crashed down just inches from his head. A shard of metal grazed his shoulder. Pain shot through him, but he gritted his teeth. One wrong move could kill the hatchling, or him. He rolled, narrowly avoiding another falling panel, and landed on the reinforced floor. The hatchling's small body was safe, but trembling violently. Dr. Kessler stormed forward. "Callan, we'll move it ourselves. Step aside before it." "Step back." Callan barked. "You don't know what it's capable of." His voice cracked with urgency. The hatchling stiffened, wings opening slightly, and a faint glow radiated across its scales. Sparks jumped from a nearby console. The creature was reacting defensively. Callan knew the risk. If the hatchling panicked, the entire shelter could collapse. He forced calm into his voice. "I've got this. Trust me." He took a deep breath, trying to steady the creature and himself. Small gestures, a soft hum, a gentle squeeze, and the hatchling's wings settled slightly. His breathing slowed. Callan felt the first relief pulse through him. It was a minor victory, but a victory nonetheless. The storm outside worsened. Lightning struck a nearby antenna, sending a shockwave through the shelter. Emergency lights flickered. Alarms blared. Debris shifted violently. Callan ducked, holding the hatchling close, and looked toward the storage bay exit. That was their only safe path, but the floor between them and the door was littered with broken panels and fallen equipment. Every step could trigger a collapse. Every moment delayed could prove fatal. He gritted his teeth and made a choice. Using a nearby crate, he created a makeshift bridge over a particularly unstable section of floor. Sweat mixed with rain dripping through the broken roof. The hatchling chirped softly and Callan whispered, "Almost there. We can do this." Halfway across, a low rumble shook the shelter. The hatchling shrieked in alarm, its body glowing brighter. The energy it emitted caused sparks to arc between metal panels. Callan's fingers tightened on the crate, bracing for impact. He realized it wasn't just scared, it was trying to warn him. Its instincts, its intelligence were far beyond what anyone expected. Just then, a large section of the ceiling above shifted, threatening to crush them both. Without hesitation, Callan shifted the hatchling onto his shoulder and dove to the side. Metal screeched and splintered as the panel fell where he had been moments before. His jacket was scorched and dust filled his lungs, but the hatchling was safe. He exhaled, heart pounding. The first small payoff of their daring journey, they had survived immediate death together. They reached the reinforced center of the shelter. Callan set the hatchling down carefully on a soft, insulated panel. It looked at him, golden eyes wide, and let out a soft, vibrating hum. Callan felt it in his chest, the resonance of its tiny body. For a moment, amidst the chaos, the world seemed to still. He had earned its trust, and it had rewarded him with calm. Dr. Kessler, still fuming, approached slowly. I don't understand." Callan cut her off. "It only trusts me. If you take it now, you'll destroy that trust, and possibly its life. You want to survive this storm? Step back and let me handle it. He wasn't asking, he was stating a fact. The hatchling chirped again, curling slightly into his jacket. Callan's relief was short-lived. The floor shuddered beneath them, heavier than before. The hatchling twitched violently, wings flaring, and the soft glow from its scales intensified. Sparks leapt from the console next to them, crackling like tiny lightning bolts. Callan froze, realizing the hatchling's energy was no longer subtle. It was growing, reacting to the storm and the tension around them. Then, without warning, a sharp beam of energy shot from the hatchling's chest toward the far wall, striking a control panel and sending it exploding into flames. Smoke filled the air. Callan coughed, dragging the hatchling behind a crate as shards of burning metal rained down. The storm's fury outside now seemed tame compared to the danger inside. Callan's pulse raced. The hatchling's eyes locked onto his. In that moment he understood, they weren't just surviving the storm, they were together in something far larger than either of them realized. And then, through the smoke and chaos, a low, vibrating hum spread across the shelter. Not from the storm, not from the hatchling, but from the floor itself. Something beneath them was moving. Something massive. Callan's stomach dropped. Whatever had been hidden below the outpost was awakening, and he and the hatchling were standing directly above it. The hatchling shrieked again, wings flaring, and Callan knew their fight for survival was far from over. Callan's eyes darted across the shelter, smoke curling in thick tendrils from the broken control panel. The hatchling clung to his shoulder, wings flaring with nervous energy, scales glowing brighter than ever. The low hum beneath their feet vibrated through the metal floor, resonating with the hatchling's own energy. Callan felt it in his chest, a pulse that demanded attention. Whatever was down there was alive, and it was massive. He swallowed, forcing his fear aside. Panic would get them both killed. He had to think fast. He scanned the damaged shelter for anything that could help. Debris, crates, a section of reinforced wall. They might not stop a massive creature, but they could buy time. Carefully, he guided the hatchling toward a reinforced corner, whispering soothing words, trying to steady both of them. The hatchling responded, glowing slightly less, wings trembling but folding closer to its body. Its chirps were quieter now, but the resonance remained, faintly vibrating against Callan's chest. He realized the creature wasn't just scared, it was sensing what lay beneath the floor, reacting instinctively. Its instincts were sharper than any human's, and now he needed to trust them both. Then a sudden rumble shook the shelter violently. Metal groaned, dust rained down, and a section of the reinforced floor cracked. From the fissure, a faint blue glow seeped upward, pulsing rhythmically. Callan's heart pounded. He leaned closer, shielding the hatchling. The glow seemed to respond to the hatchling's energy pulses, almost like they were communicating. What is this?" he muttered under his breath, feeling both awe and terror. He reached toward a loose panel, lifting it carefully to peer into the fissure. What he saw made him freeze. A network of crystalline structures stretched beneath the outpost, glowing faintly, humming with energy. The shapes were intricate, almost organic, intertwined with machinery and rock. And at the center, a faint silhouette of something huge moved, sending shockwaves through the crystal lattice. Callan's mind raced. This wasn't just a creature. They had stumbled into a hidden system of alien technology. Or life. Maybe both. And somehow the hatchling was connected. Every pulse, every glow, every chirp corresponded to the vast network below. The little creature wasn't just alive. It was a key, a node, part of a larger entity. Before he could analyze further, the hatchling shrieked suddenly, a sharp, vibrating sound that made metal screech. Sparks flew from a nearby console as the energy beneath them surged violently. Callan yanked it close to his chest again, feeling the tiny body vibrate in alarm. The hatchling's glow intensified, wings flaring, illuminating the shelter in eerie, shifting light. Dr. Kessler rushed forward, eyes wide with disbelief. "Callan, step away. You don't understand." "I understand more than you think," he shouted over the roar of the storm and the hum beneath them. "It's not just a creature. It's part of something bigger. And if we separate it now, we risk everything." The scientist froze, but Callan didn't wait for agreement. He had no time. With careful, precise movements, he used a nearby crate and some reinforced panels to create a temporary barrier, shielding both himself and the hatchling from falling debris and sparks. The hatchling chirped again, then let out a soft hum, calmer but still resonating strongly. Callan realized it wasn't panicking, it was alerting him to the dangers below. He knelt, brushing a trembling claw from its eye. "All right, little one, we'll figure this out together," he whispered. The hatchling nuzzled his chest, wings folding gently. For a moment, amidst the chaos, there was trust, a fragile bond forming under impossible odds. The shelter trembled again, heavier this time. The fissure widened, and a stream of luminous energy shot upward, striking the hatchling and surrounding him with an almost blinding radiance. Callan's vision blurred. His ears rang with a harmonic resonance that seemed to speak directly to his mind. Images flickered in his mind's eye, swirling shapes, a vast alien landscape, creatures moving like living machines. The hatchling chirped sharply, and Callan realized with a jolt, it wasn't random. The creature was transmitting information. He instinctively reached out, touching its tiny head. Immediately, he felt clarity amidst the chaos, a stream of understanding. The hatchling wasn't dangerous, it was communicating. Warning. Guiding. Then from deep below, a massive shadow shifted. The crystalline lattice trembled violently. A deep vibration echoed through the floor, stronger than the storm outside. Callan grabbed the hatchling tightly, instinctively pulling it away from the fissure. Sparks flew, panels groaned, and the structure shuddered under their feet. "This is bigger than we imagined," Callan muttered. "Much bigger." The hatchling chirped softly, wings folding closer. Its glow dimmed slightly, as if acknowledging the truth he had just realized. They were in the presence of something ancient, vast, and awake. Dr. Kessler stared, mouth open. It's reacting to the hatchling? It's alive?" Callan didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the shifting shadow below. He realized with a chill that whatever lay beneath the shelter had been dormant, silent, until now. And now their presence, combined with the hatchling's energy, had awakened it. He glanced down at the small creature in his arms. Its golden eyes met his, sharp and intelligent. Somehow it had chosen him, not just to protect but to guide. Callan's mind raced. If the hatchling was the key, they had no choice but to follow its instincts. But what lay below might not just test their courage, it might destroy them both. Another surge of energy rippled through the shelter, knocking over equipment. The hatchling's wings flared, and the faint hum grew into a steady pulse. Callan gritted his teeth, lifting the hatchling higher, and whispered, "We're not done yet. Not even close." The ground beneath them quaked violently once more, and through the dust and sparks, Callan caught a glimpse of movement in the shadows. A shape far larger than the hatchling, coiling and shifting, almost alive, almost aware. It paused, and the hatchling's golden eyes flashed. Callan realized with a jolt. Whatever was down there had noticed them. And then the humming stopped. Silence. Except for the storm outside. And a single, low, resonant vibration that seemed to come from the hatchling itself, warning him, they were no longer alone. Callan's heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing the hum from the hatchling's scales. The shelter trembled beneath them, dust and sparks swirling in the dim light. The massive shape beneath the floor had shifted again, and now he could sense its presence in every vibration of the metal around him. Whatever it was awake, aware, and possibly dangerous. The hatchling squirmed in his arms, wings flaring, scales glowing brighter than before. Its chirps were sharp and urgent, vibrating in his chest like a living alarm. Callan tightened his grip, whispering, "I know, little one. I know. We'll get through this." His voice was calm, but his mind raced. Every second wasted could mean disaster. Dr. Kessler's face was pale, eyes wide with fear. "Callan, we can't." "We can and we must," Callan cut her off. "Stay back. I know what I'm doing." He didn't even fully know what that meant yet, but instinct and experience drove him. The hatchling wasn't just alive, it was intelligent, connected to something far bigger than either of them could understand. And if he could trust it, they had a chance. A sudden quake shook the floor violently. Loose panels and debris slid underfoot. Callan stepped over a jagged shard of metal, keeping the hatchling close, and scanned the room for anything he could use. Sparks flew from a damaged console, and a section of the ceiling groaned dangerously. He had to move fast. The hatchling chirped again, wings opening slightly, and a beam of light shot from its chest. It wasn't aimed randomly. The light hit a cracked energy conduit, illuminating a pattern in the dust on the floor. Callan's eyes widened. It was a map, crude but functional. The hatchling was trying to guide him. "Follow it," he muttered, more to himself than anyone else. He placed a hand on the creature, letting it lead, and started moving carefully through the wreckage. Every step was calculated. Every misstep could trigger another collapse or worse. Yet the hatchling seemed to sense the safest path, chirping softly when he hesitated, glowing in encouragement. Then came the real test. A massive section of the shelter floor cracked and splintered before them, revealing the glowing lattice of the alien network below. Callan froze. One misstep and they could plummet into the unknown. The hatchling chirped sharply, wings flaring, and Callan realized it was telling him to leap. He adjusted the hatchling in his arms, took a deep breath, and ran. Adrenaline surged as he jumped over the gap, landing hard on the other side. Sparks flew from the fractured panels beneath him, dust blinding his eyes. The hatchling shivered violently, but Callan held it steady. A small victory. He had trusted both his instincts and the hatchling's guidance, and it had paid off. The shelter shook again, harder this time. Debris fell from the ceiling and a low, resonant growl rumbled from below, vibrating through the metal floor. Callan realized the massive entity beneath him was reacting to their movement. It wasn't attacking yet, it was observing, testing. A new urgency gripped him. They needed to reach the emergency access chamber, a reinforced room that could withstand the storm and whatever was stirring below. But the path was blocked by a cascade of fallen panels and sparking cables. Callan's eyes scanned frantically. Improvisation was their only option. He grabbed a metal beam and levered it under a fallen panel, sliding it aside. Sparks erupted and he ducked instinctively, the hatchling's wings brushing his cheek. Callan ignored the pain from a grazing cut on his shoulder, focusing entirely on keeping the creature safe. Step by step they cleared a path, each movement precise, calculated, and desperate. When they reached the access chamber, a new danger awaited. A surge of energy from the hatchling caused the metal door to hum violently, locking them momentarily inside the reinforced corridor. Callan held his breath, pressing the hatchling close. Its eyes glowed brighter and the humming intensified, resonating through his bones. The door shuddered, then slowly swung open, as if the creature's energy had synchronized with the shelter's systems. Inside the chamber, Callan set the hatchling down gently. Its wings folded, breathing slowing, scales dimming to a soft glow. For the first time in hours he allowed himself to exhale. They were safe, for the moment. But the shelter trembled again, a warning that the danger below was far from over. Dr. Kessler, trembling, whispered, It saved us. Somehow it controlled the systems. Callan nodded, not taking his eyes off the hatchling. It's not just a creature. It's a guide. And whatever is down there, it's alive. And aware of us. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing down. They had survived immediate death together, but the true challenge was only beginning. The hatchling chirped softly, wings flaring slightly, and a sudden beam of light shot upward from its chest. It struck the ceiling, illuminating a symbol carved faintly into the shelter's metal structure. Callan's eyes widened. He had never noticed it before. It was alien, intricate, and pulsing with energy that matched the hatchling's glow. A realization hit him. The hatchling wasn't just guiding, they were interacting with something larger, something hidden. Callan felt a surge of both awe and fear. This was bigger than any storm, any collapsing structure. This was something ancient, intelligent, and potentially dangerous. And the hatchling had chosen him to navigate it. Before he could react further, the floor beneath the hatchling vibrated violently. The golden eyes of the creature widened in alarm, wings flaring to full span. Sparks shot from the walls, and the chamber trembled as a deep, resonant pulse echoed from below. Callan knew instinctively, they had awakened something enormous. Something watching. Something aware of their presence. He scooped the hatchling into his arms, heart hammering. "Hold on," he whispered. "We're not done. Not by a long shot." And then, from the depths beneath the shelter, a sudden blinding surge of energy erupted through the crystalline lattice, sending a shockwave of light and vibration upward. The hatchling shrieked, its body glowing fiercely, and the chamber walls trembled as if alive. Callan's pulse raced. Whatever was down there had fully noticed them, and it was far more powerful than either of them could have imagined. The storm outside seemed to pale in comparison. Callan held the hatchling tight, ready to face whatever came next, knowing that their courage, intelligence, and bond were the only weapons they had. And then, in the midst of the chaos, the hatchling's glow pulsed once, sharply, and the shadow beneath the shelter moved in a way that suggested awareness and intention. Callan's chest tightened. Whatever lay below was not passive. It was waiting, watching, and now it was coming closer. Callan's breath came in short, sharp gasps as the floor trembled beneath him again. The hatchling nestled tightly in his arms, wings fluttering in warning. Sparks rained from broken panels, dust choked the air, and a deep vibration thrummed through the shelter, louder than ever. Every instinct screamed danger, yet he had no time to hesitate. He pressed the hatchling to his chest, feeling the resonance of its tiny body against his own. Its golden eyes looked up at him, wide and trusting. Callan had survived storms, collapsing floors and alien energies, but nothing had prepared him for the truth now unfolding. Whatever lay beneath the shelter was aware, responding to the hatchling, reacting to him. It wasn't merely a threat, it was testing them. Dr. Kessler staggered behind him, eyes wide with disbelief. Callan, that thing, it's not just a creature. It's intelligent. Callan didn't answer immediately. His focus was on movement, survival, and understanding. Every pulse of energy beneath them, every hum from the hatchling told him one thing: they had to act in perfect sync. Hesitation meant death. He scanned the room and spotted a narrow maintenance tunnel leading to a reinforced observation deck. It was risky, possibly unstable, but it was their best chance to gain control of the situation and protect the hatchling. "Follow me," he barked, voice steady despite the chaos. "Stay close and trust me." He led the way, ducking under falling debris, leaping over sparks and dodging twisted metal. The hatchling clung to his chest, wings brushing against his jaw, and chirped softly, its glow pulsating rhythmically. Callan realized the creature was guiding him, warning him of dangers he couldn't see yet. A sudden violent tremor split the floor just ahead. Callan's stomach dropped. Without thinking, he grabbed the hatchling and vaulted over the gap. Panels and dust showered behind him, sparks arcing in jagged lines. Landing hard on the other side, he rolled instinctively, keeping the hatchling safe. Small victory. He was learning to read its signals, to move as one. They reached the observation deck. Reinforced panels lined the walls, and a control console flickered with residual energy. Callan set the hatchling down gently. It chirped softly, wings folding, and looked around. He leaned over the console, analyzing the systems. The hatchling's glow pulsed in response, illuminating hidden symbols and energy nodes across the control panel. Callan's eyes widened. It wasn't just interacting with the shelter, it was manipulating it. "Do you see this?" he whispered to Kessler. "It's controlling the energy. It knows how the shelter works, somehow." The hatchling chirped sharply, wings flaring. Then a beam of light shot from its chest, striking a cracked panel. Sparks erupted, and the hum beneath the floor surged into a high, resonant tone. Callan's heart raced. He realized the creature was trying to communicate a path to stability, a way to calm whatever was awakening beneath them. Acting quickly, Callan followed the hatchling's cues. He aligned the energy conduits, pressed panels according to the subtle patterns the creature illuminated, and adjusted the power flow. Each movement caused the vibrations to shift, the hum to stabilize slightly. The massive entity below reacted, its energy pulses becoming less erratic, almost attentive. Dr. Kessler stared, mouth open. It's calming it?" Callan nodded without taking his eyes off the hatchling. "Yes, but we're not done. Whatever this is, it's ancient. It's alive. And it's testing us." The vibrations softened. The hatchling chirped, glowing brighter for a moment, wings wrapping protectively around its small body. Callan felt a wave of relief. Their combined actions had worked. They had survived, and more importantly, they had begun to influence the situation instead of being swept along by it. A low rumble echoed from below, softer now, almost appreciative. Callan bent down, brushing a hand across the hatchling's head. "We did it. Together?" he murmured. The creature responded with a gentle hum, curling closer to him. For the first time, the terror of the past hours gave way to a fragile bond, a silent understanding between human and hatchling. But the moment of calm didn't last long. From the shadows of the observation deck, a soft vibration pulsed, distinct from the hatchling or the entity below. Callan's eyes narrowed. Something else had noticed them, something subtle, watching, assessing. The hatchling stiffened, wings flaring slightly, and a tiny chirp escaped its throat, sharp and warning. Callan felt a thrill of apprehension. Their victory had not ended the mystery, it had only revealed a larger one. Whatever lay beyond the shelter, connected to the hatchling and the entity below, was waiting. And now it had noticed them. He lifted the hatchling gently into his arms, feeling the familiar vibration that had guided him through danger. "We'll face it," he whispered. "Together. No matter what." The creature chirped in response, golden eyes locking onto his. A bond had formed, a human courage, intelligence, and empathy intertwined with alien instinct. Outside, the storm had begun to subside slightly, but the shelter still trembled. Callan knew this was only the beginning. Whatever had awakened below, whatever mysteries the hatchling held, their journey was far from over. but for now they had survived. And more than survived, they had connected, trusted, and acted together when no one else could. He took a deep breath, feeling the hatchling's warm glow against his chest. The shelter hummed gently now, the alien lattice beneath quieting but still alive. Callan realized that their bond had changed everything. Alone, neither could have survived. Together, they had a chance to navigate the impossible. And as he looked toward the flickering exit, he sensed something more. A path forward, a larger mystery and challenges that awaited beyond the shelter. The hatchling stirred, chirping softly, wings flickering with anticipation. Callan smiled, heart racing, knowing their story was only beginning. Somewhere deep below, the shadow shifted again. And this time it moved with intent, watching them, waiting.